Welcome everyone to another episode featuring the very special 1984 Alpina B6 2.8 E30. Today is a fun one because we're going to be diving into this thing and going through doing a whole mechanical overhaul of the car. We're going to be going through it kind of systematically and addressing all the things that need to be addressed. You know, leaks, general maintenance, fuel system, cooling system, etc., etc. Whatever I can see that it kind of needs, we're gonna get to. So I wanna make sure this thing is reliable, up to date on its maintenance, and ready to be enjoyed. So sit back, relax, grab a drink, grab some food, whatever you want, and let's embark on this journey of Alpina maintenance. He said the fuel pump was replaced not too long ago, and it definitely looks to be the truth, but I don't see branding on it. And just because kind of what we found in the filter, I don't want to risk it. I'd rather pull this down, check it out myself, make sure everything's good. Okay, so I had to undo the main bracket to get to this top bracket that kind of just encompasses the pump itself. So you can see, there goes that. And now I can actually slip it out of the feed line. Let's see how much fuel this leaks. A lot. Good thing I had the bucket. Absolutely fantastic bucket use right there. So I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but I had this issue before. If you look right there at the inlet of the pump, you can see all that residue. And if we do this, oh yeah. Look at that. Holy crap. Yeah, so that, and now I noticed this when I was driving the car for the first time. Towards the end of the drive, I was having some like cavitation from the pump, like it sounded like it was starving, and that's what that's from. So the little bit of residue I found in the tank, which is, like I said, rust, whatever, garbage over the years. When you don't have a sock on the pickup, which I did not have because it was broken, that allows it to get to the next step of filtration, which is the pump. And the pump has a little screen filter in it, and that will get jumbled up with soot and all the crap that you don't want. Okay, so a couple days have passed. I finally got all my parts ordered. I've made the conscious decision that on this car, we're actually going to drop the fuel tank because I peeked through that hole a little bit more, and it kind of worried me. I saw a lot more kind of particles than I wanted to, so I'm going to drop the entire tank and we're going to flush it out, and just so that we don't have to keep chasing this problem, because you know when your pump's clogged up like that with gunk and rust, it's going to keep happening unless you eliminate the problem, which is the tank. I'm going to drain it out with our crafty little drain here, get all the gas out of it, so then we could start working at dropping it. Camera ran out of SD card, but I pulled the exhaust down, so that is off. We needed that to come off to get to the drive shaft anyway. So this is our fuel tank. Well, the whole drive shaft has to come down because the tank loops up over the drive shaft, so it has to come down regardless. Now we got gear and e-brake to stop us. Okay. Oh, we gotta get the filler neck hose off. This hose is still pliable, so that's good. This is easy. Wood. Everything's released there. I think everything's released over there too. There we go. I could just kind of slide it down. It's actually empty, so it should be light. I don't think I need the jack. Okay, it looks like all the lines are off. Oh yeah. Oh, we got one. We got one line caught here. And out she comes. There you go, that's a view right there. So that's all a bunch of little rust, sediment and stuff. And really what that comes from, because if you look down there, this tank isn't rusty at the bottom, What it's from is the top of the tank, because rarely do you have a full tank, right? And the car sits, and the moisture gets in there, and it eats away where the gas isn't, and that's at the top. So the top of the tank is the problem. Okay, and now what we are doing is getting the diff, working at getting the diff out. So start with the axles. We got one axle. So now these are, it's got the rear, the big mount, and then these got the old style like E12s, the two subframe mounts, one lower in the front and one kind of halfway up the top of the diff. Lower one, good. Oh, there we go. Two more on the other side. Oh, come on. Whew. There we go. It should kind of come straight down. Ooh. Oh yeah. And that's our diff. All right, now we can dig deeper into the diff. We got it up on the workbench here. First things first, we're gonna drain the old fluid out of it. So the Alpina has the temperature gauge right here. These wires were so brittle, they just broke off. So either I will have to rewire this, in which clearly it's been kind of rigged together before, or I'll have to see if I could buy that new. Oh, okay. Oh wow, that fluid's really clean. Oh, now I feel stupid for draining it. Yeah, look at that. All that Alpina torque right there, that horsepower chewed through that thing pretty quick. We're so close. There we go. I'm gonna try to cut down till we get to that metal outer ring, and once we cut that, then we can kind of split it. Still connected a little bit. Gotta pry out the output shafts, just like that. Wow, that was weirdly easy. I had to bring in the experts from California. The E34, well, not an E34, but medium case diff. He just did this, so he had to walk me through it. Basically, when I went to put back on the input shaft, I marked it, but the markings never really seemed correct, and I ended up just tightening it down way too far, and it didn't spin very good. So I'm just gonna play it safe, rebuild the pinion on the diff, and with all new bearings. So I got new bearings here. Had to buy like $300 worth of Amazon tools, but we're gonna go through this diff and do things the right way. So.
Yeah. What? If you broke the ear, you have bigger problems because that's how it mounts.
That's RTV'd, just like that, huh? I have never taken a diff apart.
Never done this one.
Pumpkin. So now we can technically count the ratio.
We can, yeah. So you count the number of teeth here, and then you count the number of teeth here. So this divided by this.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of counting.
What, you don't like to count?
You want me to do it right now?
Let's count.
14. So what, 41 minus 13? Divided by 13?
14.
14. 2.93, yeah. All right.
And this is...
We've confirmed.
Chunky, like just visually, that pinion's pretty darn big, which is good. These longer ratios are the stronger. I mean, if you're blowing up pinions, you have bigger issues, but yeah, this is the stronger one because of that, because the pinion gets so meaty.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's almost there. We got it. Oh, look at that. Our pinion is out.
It's a crush sleeve to a specific spec. So if you overdo it and then you have too much drag, because this determines how far it can go, and then you have too much drag to where you're overloading the bearings, then you just have to redo it because you can't reset this. This is what's setting that distance.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's one way to do it, huh?
That's how you do it. Brand new seal. That sucks. $12 down the drain. Oh, that just pulls out, huh?
Yeah, because when we're banging it out, we're taking out the press fitting. Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh, easy.
Wow, we don't need the correct tools.
Yeah,
This is technically garbage, right?
Well, don't throw it away yet. We might need this
Well, I
to
don't want
drive
anything
in.
away, but I want some sort of organization here so we know we're not reinstalling old things.
Well, don't take them out of the box. Still there. We're gonna take a step back.
It seems violent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't want to cover your ears. I'm going hearing protection here. Definitely lower.
Yeah, it should. There we go. Opa.
Oh, this is being reused.
Yes, that is important. Yes, because that. So what that spacer does is it sits. So the race sits like this, and if you have a thicker space, then it pushes it closer, and if you have thinner, it pulls the pinion away from the gear. So this dictates the gear pattern that will come. So different ratios, different ones. But actually, no. The real hard part, the thing that we're not going to be able to do now. You could try. I don't recommend it. Is this really
cutting
just
that off?
Cut. Try to bend it now. Maybe it'll give.
Got it.
Alrighty.
We got the outer race off, or whatever you would call it.
Cage, yeah. Now this is the hard part.
This is the one that
This
also
is
has to
the
get
one
cut.
that will probably just break our one and only metal disc.
This is really firm, right? You can't like. Oh.
Hey! You're hating on that drill, man.
Yeah, that drill was all right. The bearing tool kind of sucked.
It did suck.
No, nothing at
Hey, look at that!
all. Wow, we did good. Oh, you bastard! This right here. Stupid. This is garbage, yeah.
Keep it for now, but yeah.
Keep it for now, okay? I'll
Just
put
in
it in the
case,
pile.
just in case we need something
400
to press
things.
something.
What broke?
Probably the cage.
Okay, it's easy.
Ta-da.
Wow.
Da-da-da-da.
Look at that. So these are the output shaft bearings.
Yes.
Okay, so if anyone's wondering where we got all our bearings, what is it? 123 bearing?
Yes.
And it's like way cheaper than
Yeah.
like if you go on like real OEM and then go on like US sites, these are like 50, 60 bucks a pop. 123 bearing, I think they were all like 30.
Yeah.
Shipping's a little expensive,
That's
but
where they get you.
it's express.
But these are also the good bearings.
Oh, don't get the races mixed up.
Don't get the races mixed up. So this outer race needs to stay with this bearing. Going straight.
God. A few minutes later, to be generous, we ended up having to cut it off. I plugged all the ports, and yeah, that was a pain in the ass, but ready for the other install. Day 2. We're back at it. What did we left off? The pumpkin's done. I may have forgot to film a couple parts, but we had a hell of a time getting the old bearing off.
I mean, a very easy time.
Yeah, very easy time, sorry. But the pumpkin's done. We got new output shaft bearings. I said I don't think we need to do them. Hunter said, oh, we might as well. And it caused us hours and hours of pain. So this can be set aside. Are we doing these now?
Let's do these now. Yeah.
So this one is old one, so we can press this out. You like?
Swat. Boom.
Wow.
That's easy.
Oh, we
Which
gotta
one?
get the race out?
Yeah, let's get the race out. Well, hold on. Right tools for all the hard stuff, and the wrong tools for the easy stuff. Just a light spread, because this is metal on metal, and so where it contacts that metal on metal, this RTV is going to help seal it. And you're going to want to let this sit for about an hour before you run the car, but we're going to
Yeah, well, we have
wait 3 months.
Yeah, months before we run the car. All right, that's good, yeah.
Beautiful, yeah.
New O-ring?
New O-ring, we must do a new O-ring before we forget, before we mix them up.
Real OEM tells you 81 millimeters on these O-rings. Everywhere else, those are no longer existent. Everywhere else tells you, oh, they're 90. Well, those two values aren't the same. So I didn't trust it, but turns out 90 works. I wonder why my workspace is a nightmare. Okay, One done. We repeated on the other one. Holy shit, how is that going on there?
It's not. There's still. Yeah, this is the hard part.
Alright, so we gotta get the new race on. We don't have the right kit, so we're building. Old race is on the new one. And we're just...
Going to town with the hammer.
We're just going for it. This is ridiculous.
This is, I think, a precision lift.
Alright. Thank you, old race. You did good.
Pinion comes over here. Here's what we could just do right now. We could drop this in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get the race in there. So the bearing gets it in there. Then we can do the other race. And then we can put on the seal. And then we can put the pinion in and the crush sleeve. And we can crush it. And then we get it all wrapped up. And we can put the cover in. We can fill it with fluid. We get it all ready to go, right?
Uh-huh.
And I can say, where did the pinion spacer go?
Oh.
And you say,
oh, God.
throw it in the trash.
I'm glad you remember this freaking pinion spacer's been laying around. And I'm like, I don't even know where this came from. Thank God. This is why I'm not doing this job by myself. Because I would have forgotten. So this goes underneath this?
This goes underneath this, yeah. There you go. That's all. We're good.
Wait, where's the old one? Why don't we flip the old one?
Good call.
Look at this. We are smart. We're smart guys.
Okay, cool.
That's it?
That is it.
Ready to put the pinion in?
Well, I'm never ready.
Yeah, well.
Up.
Okay, pinion seal. This is the second one.
Yeah, because if you get this, and we can get this nut off, yeah. I don't know how we're going to counterweight this.
Huh?
You don't have a vise, do you? Just that little Wilton in the truck?
Yeah, which definitely is not gonna... What does it have to grip? The whole casing?
We need to, if you have a flat piece of metal, we have to stop this from turning.
Oh, I was using a pipe wrench.
Okay, that works too.
Curl K2, if you can see behind Hunter's back. This is what the G260s call for in the output shaft spline.
Really?
It seals the splines, because technically, that's not really a sealable surface. And oil can leak through that.
That is true. Wow.
So.
I thought mine was sealed. Mine's basically not even sealed.
No? Oh.
That was a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's good.
To get a nut on there?
Is this final? Does this comes back off, right?
No.
We're putting this on? Like on?
We're doing on.
A little curl in the nut, because the back of the nut seals it too. Shallowed out 30 mil. How far? This gets flush, so I don't have to worry about it crushing it.
See?
That's the money, damn.
Stop.
A little more?
Well, this play can't have any of that basically.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's when when it starts to like disappear, then we have to be careful.
I know. But how do you torque it where you need it? Am I crushing the crush washer right now?
You're doing a couple things. So what you're doing, that bearing, that top bearing,
Yeah.
is now getting pushed onto the shaft. This bearing is nice and flush up in its race, and now we're crushing the crush washer.
Okay. Oh.
It's still a little loose. But the inch-pound torque wrench.
Okay, beam style, and you're literally just spinning it,
Yep.
and it's at 0.
Yeah.
Okay, so more torque.
More torque. Now this is. You see, if it rotates, we check.
Okay, if
This
it
is
rotates,
we're not.
still 0?
Yeah.
Woo! That got tight.
Well, it's not 0. It's a little over 0. You see?
So we gotta be 15?
Yeah, that's about 10.
That's
We're real
very close.
Actually, the real goal is 17. It's not 15. No, it's right under 2. That's on the money.
I thought it was...
That's 2 newton meters. This is inch pounds, so 20 is here, 20 is a little above the 2.
So you're using the beam style and you're looking at the markings while you spin. Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
I'd say that's good. That's nice. That spins nice.
Yeah. Better than it was?
Wow.
Was that so hard?
I think it was better than it was. That was absolutely painful. Fresh lock washer.
Most important part.
Pumpkin going in.
You know, it doesn't even look like a pump.
No, it doesn't.
Who started this? Who started this lie? Well, yeah, but these before you can start doing all this
naturally.
funny stuff.
So driver's side, and that makes sense there, yep. The hard part is done. Now we basically just pop the bushing in, pop the case on, or the rear case, and we were done. So Hunter's a legend because I was lost, and now I'm found, and we got this thing all set, freshly preloaded. I don't have to wonder if I overdid or underdid it. Yeah. And now this diff is better off.
It is. It is better off.
Got RTV on both sides. So that's the casing side and on the cover side, because these paper gaskets are worthless. But I also, if you guys watched or saw the picture, I didn't film it, but I pressed in the new bushing. So we're gonna do finger tight, and then we're gonna let it sit for about an hour, and then we'll do the final torque. We're gonna put the speed sensor in with its new O-ring. Goes in this way with the longer side on the right side of the diff, aka passenger side. Put the new O-ring on, pop it in. Now this only goes on one way. Now we're going to put in the drain plug, which is also the temp sensor, which I think if you guys remember when I pulled it out, it broke. A audio repair shop was actually able to fix it. Basically, he was able to finally solder in a new pigtail, and then I reconnected it to the sensor. So I siliconed around it. It's fragile, but it does the trick. You cannot get this sensor new. Alpina does not offer it. Believe me, I asked. We're using Redline 75W90 GL5 for limited slip diffs, so it's got the additive you want for LSDs. But we'll put one bottle in, let it sit overnight, get all the front pinion bearings lubricated, and then, wow, that actually threads into the casing. That's hilarious. All right, it's time for us to get this rebuilt, or partially rebuilt diff back in the car. So I did put the fluid in, I finished. Fill it till it overflows out the fill plug. And this thing spins so nice. I am so glad I did this. I know it was a pain, but you literally, until you felt a diff with new bearings in it spin, you don't know how good this feels. Okay, perfect. Okay, I think that one is started. And then the top one. We got the diff in place, we got all the bolts in. Now we're just doing the final tightening of the bolts. That's the 4 to the subframe. Yeah, we'll quickly throw on the axles. We are all done in the differential department. All right, we're moving up into the transmission. So here we got to do the shift shaft seal. Linkage out of the way. We got the pin out. It's a little bit tricky. Oh yeah, there it is. There's our old leaky shift shaft seal. Shift shaft seal is in. Okay, elbows on. Now the circlip fastener. While we're down here, we're gonna do a trans flush, get some fresh fluid in here. So before you drain it, you always do the fill plug. Got the fill plug loose. Oh, yes. There we go. Fluid looks pretty good. Drain plug back in. And now we can start pumping in the new fluid up until it starts overflowing. You can see it's flowing out, so it's time to put the plug in. Moving on to our drive shaft. So, drive shaft has a couple things to do. We have a center support bearing, we have a guibo, and a guide bushing. Before we start, we're gonna paint mark it so that we don't lose our balance, right? So, there. Okay, so a pipe wrench to hold it. I got the spline nut off. It was just kind of hard because it's got like kind of like a rubber diaphragm. There is a little circlip holding this on. There we go. Sorry, we had to cut and default to the experts, aka people that just had tools. I went to Eustace's house. I had to press in the front control arm bushings too. To get it out, he just had one of those 2-jaw pullers with really long arms to get it out. And then to get it in, we basically just used a punch, the old bearing on top of this one, and just hit it down evenly. Little lubricant, and actually went pretty easy. So, not bad. New center support bearing is in. Now we got to get the circlip in there. Old cracked up guibo in the garbage for this. I'm gonna get it set up, and we could even then 3-jaw puller and a coilover wrench or something flat that, you know, covers the bushing. Now we're gonna set up the 3-jaw puller, and now we just basically press it in. It only hangs out a couple millimeters, so there we go. And boom, new end bushing. New guibo. Line up our, you see there, paint marks are lined up. Look at that, the white mark on the nut lines up. So there we have it. Drive shaft is back together. Getting ready to reinstall everything into my tank that I de-rusted. Well, we skipped past all that in the video because it's now useless. Come to find out, the bottom of this tank has a pretty nasty dent in it, and my sending unit with the actual correct sock wouldn't go in there. So that's why it was all messed up beforehand. And to make life easier, we went ahead and bought a brand new gas tank. So brand new tank, brand new lines, sending unit with the sock is installed. Of course, when I was swapping parts over, the crossover pipe sheared, so I had to buy a new crossover pipe, and well, a used one, but a nice one. We got it fitted, and now everything is on here that needs to be on here, and we are ready to install it. We gotta get this hose through the subframe. Okay, we got it. Oh, we're so close. There we go. Okay. Okay, we got the nut. Check this out. This is what you call pre-fall of the Berlin Wall fuel line right here. So this is the fuel return from the rail. That's the little check valve. We're doing new fuel lines here, both sides of these, obviously. So we're gonna cut our line here to match. New hoses. I cleaned up the little check valve. Bischoff, BMW. This thing was just filthy, but cleaned up very nice. And now we reinstall this. Here we got brand new Bosch fuel filter. Here's the old line from the hard line to the fuel filter. All cracked up, not very good. Okay, fuel filter with the line ready to go in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 1 of the Alpina mechanical overhaul. We did a lot more than I thought this video was initially going to be, so I split it into 2 parts. Next week, we're going to go ahead and we're going to tackle a brake overhaul, full suspension rebuild, valve adjustment, some engine bay things, and get this Alpina back on the road. So I'll see you guys in the next episode.